December 16, 22. Okay. My car's, I told you, with being an informant, my car's bugged. And these people sold the logins. Okay. They sold it. And it's set up for police and agents to hear me if I'm in trouble to come running. Okay. Then or somebody confesses to a crime in my car. Okay. It is what it is. You get used to it after 4 years. Okay. Well, up in Ravenna, there, next to the courthouse, there's a little bar diner across the street. A lot of the protective light guys, my security, eat at that bar. So I went, it's December 16, 22. I went up and sat outside the courthouse. Gave a statement from the beginning up to the rape and torture, including that agent bullying me, badgering me. Then them knowing about it at Mercy Medical to the nurse, November 24, 22, that he bullied me into saying I was lying when I wasn't. And that the nurse knew it was Eric making fun of him for falling for this. And then I told him about November 18, 22, Walmart 62, a full confession that all the tapes before were Eric and not me. And it was for everybody to turn on me, and he thought it was funny. They all fell for it. Da 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 da. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that kind of shit. And I went on about the shower scene, da 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 da. And then how they knew it was an agent that called me back, that told on me, and that was November 6, 22 at Central Trinity Baptist on Web's-Tusk. That they had filed the protective custody court order, and that it was a Stark County sheriff that looks like the guy in the cooking show that went up there, and he showed up in his squad car, and then they went to him and he confessed that he knew that agent told on me the night before and didn't tell on him before. November 6, 22, Central Baptist, about 10:30. My phone's tapped. They have the login up there. So then all of a sudden, all these trucks come out of nowhere and start swarming me. For the boys, take care of Karen. I'll tell the boys what's going on. The nice officer in the Ravenna courthouse, older gray-haired guy, mustache with dandruff. Like that town said, she's an informant against her husband, and we're here to make sure she's safe. So I'm up there, people, those trucks pulling and scatter. I come home and I read the definition of embezzlement. It is even withholding money meant for that person is considered embezzlement. Giving it to somebody else is embezzlement. Anything less than $100 is a year in prison. And anything more than 1,000 can be 5 years to 30 years in federal prison. They're up over 300,000. Just even withholding the money and leaving it in an account is considered embezzlement, holding it back. And that agent that told on me, that bullied me into a false statement, is Michelle's dad. And it was that retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludwig. I told him about all these people talking about all these things going on as they're stealing money from the case. From, Pennsylvania at that store, and the guy looking like Ludwig again, to the guy on December 2nd, 22 at Wendy's in Alliance, and how that it's been the one guy stealing from the case since day one. They all knew it. Nobody said anything. Yeah, and I kept going on and on to November 11th, 22. They screamed at Maslin. To a week ago Thursday at Five Below, they walked in and said, we told Judge Pete just because they're stealing money they didn't have to hurt her like this, and they need to make it right. That everybody's talking about it clear out to Pennsylvania of them just stealing money from the case. And it's the agent that called me back. He's running a scam through the federal government in the informant program, because the only requirements to be in the witness protection program, one of them, any of them, is that you witness against somebody in a case that the government's wanting to look into, and that you will witness because you're a victim or a witness of one of their crimes. And so they put you in police protective custody. They give you $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. They pay for your housing, they pay for your medical and your living expenses, and then they put you in 24 police protected custody so they can't retaliate, they can't intimidate you, and they can't harm you. That's what it's for, and it's for life. They can't drop you for any reason. You have diplomatic immunity from any prosecution, so they cannot pull a fast one, and that money's to be dispersed right away. I have never got a dime. They sold it straight from the Witness Protection Program. The Witness Protection Program has paid out over $958 billion to people like me. They have got over $300,000 from my case alone over 4.5 years. And under the law, just even holding it into account is still considered embezzlement. Anything under $100 is up to a year in prison. And if you try to misdirect it to somebody else when it's meant for only one person, it is also embezzlement and is considered theft. And anything over $1,000 is anywhere from 5 years to 30 years in federal prison and a $100,000 fine. And some of them have been up to $500,000 in fines. So where I guess they even threaten people in town that if they told because they gave them money out of it, that they go to jail, and that's why they dispersed it to so many different people so they couldn't tell. My thing is, they will find out who got it. You need to come clean, go on FBI, submit a tip. We were part of helping harass Karen. We didn't know it came from the Witness Protection Program. They gave me this much money and it came from so-and-so. You know what that does? It releases you and makes you innocent. If you don't tell, guess what happens? You get prosecuted along with them. Telling is the only thing that sets you free. Tell the truth. They gave you so much money to help out with. I've watched them buy $60 shirts. I've watched them buy tanks of gas. I've watched them buy TVs, cell phones, and pass out the government witness protection money like it was a free fall. And that they had robbed a bank and were throwing money off the bank roof. And they think it's funny. Well, they're not going to think it's funny when they spend 30 years in federal prison. And I'll tell you what, I worked in a bank. I worked in a bank, and I could put your social in, and I could find every account they ever had. If it was a really old account, I could get someone in the back with a password to open up. And because you have to log into a terminal, it timestamps everybody that looked at that case, everyone that touched it, everyone that did a withdrawal. Our government is more advanced. Do you understand? So when it comes to witness protection programs, even informant, what they do is they open the case, and then they have to put that account with the money in it, and for the housing, and for the insurance, for everything. Then a speedy is dispersed right away. Never got a dime. Like they said, it's that December 2nd, 22. Is that the one that church tried to have killed? Yes. I heard she never got a dime out of this. He said no, she's always out working, trying to make ends meet. Okay? And he said it's been that one guy stealing every dime from the case since day one. They all knew it, and nobody said a word, and that's the only thing going on. It is. They screamed at Maslin November 11th, 22. It's that idiot stealing everything she had in life for his own family. It's the only thing going on, and exactly what's going on. They were talking about it in Pennsylvania when I took my day hop out there at Chronix store. The one lady walked out of the bathroom. You can watch her tape and audio. Turn around with a guy that looks like Ludick again and said, you know, it's sick what's going on. And he said, I know, my dad feels bad about everything. He realizes the only thing that's going on is they're stealing from the case. They have talked about it clear out to Pennsylvania, to Maslin, to North Canton, and they know that the only thing that's going on is they're embezzling from the federal government. And Eric laughed. November 1822, that all the tapes before were him and not me. Ha 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 ha. Walmart 62, by the front door under a big camera, tape and audio, and I was in the hair salon with another camera, tape and audio, and in public, admitting that all the tapes before were him and not me, and it was a plan for them to all turn on me, and for him to say it, him to do it, where they photoshopped a shower scene in the other room and date rape drugged me and told me to say stuff, and that they all fell for it. Ha 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 ha. Mocking people like a jackass. They might want to fix this fast. I turn it into the Department of Justice Victims of Crimes. They're going to want to know why the hell Karen didn't get her money. You can't withhold it. You can't. You can't touch it. You can't give it to somebody else. It's embezzlement. It's meant for one person and it only goes to that person. You might want to fix it fast, people.